What's going on, everybody? It's Kevin here to give you a market update. I wanted to make a video today because today feels like the type of day where we need to make a video, right? I can post a million posts, but I want to make this video for the entire public because it's one of those days where while we still have a lot of work to do, every single thing that we have been talking about is playing out to the T. Now, does that mean it's going to continue to play out to the T? We don't know. But so far, every single thing that I have been talking about and what we have been talking about together is playing out to the T. Now, obviously, the market has been in a crazy time over the last few weeks, right? We had these massive scares over tariffs. You got the media just completely psyoping everybody and claiming that the world is over and that the U.S. economy is finished and big banks are guaranteeing recessions, which they're all rescinding today. We have just the Fed being adversarial. It's a joke. I mean, there's just so much negativity going on over something that we've been talking about as basically people are overreacting now. And we've been saying that for weeks. And, um, I think a lot of what the media was doing was playing on the emotions of investors that were losing money, and that alone was magnifying the entire problem. And we were able to track that with a level head the entire time. I don't want to get into the politics. I really don't, because at the end of the day, I'm just like everybody else. I'm a market participant. I want my portfolio to go up. It hurts me when my portfolio goes down, just like it hurts everybody else. But it's important to keep a level head and really just have good instincts, use your experience, and my knowledge of politics alone was kind of able to see through this entire thing. And so far, it's just being proven correct. So we'll start with basically what I've been saying, right? What have we been saying? I've been using this chart here, right? This is the logarithmic chart on Bitcoin on the 3-day time frame. And what we're using here is my way of tracking correctional periods in Bitcoin, right? We spoke about every single video, every single post for the last 3 months, right? 3 months I've been posting this, and I've had these lines, these exact lines drawn out for 3 months. And I've been saying the average Bitcoin correctional periods over the course of its entire history on average last 114 days, with the long end being 174 days. Ironically, that occurred last year. Now, that's very rare, right? That doesn't happen often. We actually had one in 2023 where it was 165 days, right? These were the two longest correctional periods in Bitcoin's history in terms of the 3-day MACD, which we use in correlation with the chart action to measure these correctional phases. It seems simple. I know it's not complicated. It doesn't take any type of real quantitative calculations, and it doesn't need to, because this is how Bitcoin works, right? I've been tracking Bitcoin for a very, very long time. I've been through 11 or 12 major correctional periods, including 2 bear markets. I understand how this asset moves probably better than almost anyone. Now, back to the point that I was trying to make is we've been saying no matter what we see, no matter what happens, this is how long Bitcoin goes through correctional phases. I said as long as Bitcoin, as long as the macroeconomic data comes in good enough to the point where we can hold structure, then we'll continue to reset these higher time frame indicators like the 2-week stock RSI and the 3-day MACD, and those paired up together will allow us to know when the bottom is in and when we can start reversing. Also, that being getting into this channel, our reversal zone, I like to call it. So, as you can see, we'll zoom in a little bit. It's kind of crazy how this stuff works, right? But the first day we enter in, and we'll actually go to the daily time frame, you can see on the second day that we entered into our reversal zone, not only did we hit our major area of support down here at 74,000, we hit 74,400. The zone was 74.2, so $200 off. Basically, we hit it, right? But not only, the second day we entered into the reversal zone, you're seeing a whole macroeconomic shift. That really nothing, again, it was all on speculation. All of the tariff stuff was all speculation. It was never set in stone. and everyone was freaking out. And again, the stock market dumped 25% across the board. Bitcoin in that time was able to hold structure, never even went to 70,000, which is incredible, just showing its incredible strength. Um, but nonetheless, we now have the news that came out today that the tariffs are off for 90 days. And basically, to keep it simple, the whole thing was nothing but a negotiational tactic. Every single country that was willing to come to the table is going to come to the table now. We're going to come up with better trade deals for the United States. And it's only a matter of time before China folds. They now look like the bad guy, the bad actors. They're not playing fair, and everyone knows it. All of the countries that surround China are going to be negotiating with the US. It's only a matter of time before China does too, and basically the whole tariff narrative is going to disappear. It's kind of crazy how that works, because if you were listening to the media over the last few weeks, they've basically been saying the world is going to end. So we were able to obviously keep a level head and know that deep down this was all a negotiation tactic. Deep down, we'll just continue to follow the charts and the more important macroeconomic data that actually means something, not just hearsay about tariffs. But beyond that, look at how this is playing out, right? It's going exactly according to plan. We hit our reversal zone, and we're seeing a massive 3-day candle that's about to close here in 27 minutes. So could this be the bottom? I'd like to see a little bit more first. Something that I would really like to see is I want to see Bitcoin break above this level right here, which would be the $88,700 level. If we start closing 3-day candles above that level and we break this lower high structure, I'll be really comfortable in saying that the bottom is in. So we still have some work to do, right? I don't want to get overhyped on one day's price action, especially based off a news event that was never really real in the first place. We could still come down here, but overall, based off the analysis that we've been doing, based off the tracking of this correctional phase that we've been doing, everything is going exactly according to plan. So while the rest of the field has been panicking and saying the world is over, all of the predictions that we've been making in this major correctional phase are slowly but surely coming true, right? So that's very positive. Something else I want to look at too is the USDT dominance chart. As you can see here, USDT dominance is making a major move also. So USDT dominance comes all the way up on the 3-day to the 786, gets rejected. Now we're getting a massive sell demand candle on the 3-day time frame, and it looks like in about 25 minutes, unless something crazy happens, we're going to close back below the macro golden pocket and this macro structured support, which will end up now being resistance again. On top of that, we have a major 3-day bearish divergence forming on the USDT dominance chart. For those that don't know, USDT dominance is the perfect inverse correlator to Bitcoin and the crypto markets. It's something that I discovered a long time ago, back in early 2021. I was probably the first person in all of crypto to discover that inverse correlation and actually use it. I'm sure some people may have known it, but I was actually using it to track the markets, and it's helped me track the markets accurately from a short-term perspective and a higher-term time frame perspective for years now. So again, this is extremely bullish for crypto right now. If this continues to play out over the next 30 minutes, this 3-day candle close below the golden pocket with this 3-day bearish divergence on the RSI, big deal, folks. We really want to keep a close eye on that. We do need to see follow through, right? Just like I said with Bitcoin, we don't want to get overly hyped. Just because everything is playing out the way we've been talking about doesn't mean we want to get overzealous, right? We still have work to do. We need Bitcoin to break that 88K level. I do want to see follow through on this. I do want to see macroeconomic data come in positively, right? We have CPI tomorrow morning. That's going to be a really big deal. My expectations, and I'll make this prediction, I think CPI is going to, on the year over year, is going to come in lower. I think the last read was 2.8. I think we're going to be somewhere around 2.5 or 2.4, which would be a massive drop, right? That would be great. That gets us closer and closer to that 2% goal. So you can hold me to that prediction. I don't know if it'll be true or not, but based off the data that I'm seeing through Trueflation and other pieces of data, show me that the CPI should come in significantly lower tomorrow than compared to the last read from a year-over-year perspective. If that happens, then I'm sure that'll add more bullish momentum, right? We'll start to get prepared for those rate cuts that are coming. We have rate cuts projected for June. We have a rate cut projected for July. I'm pretty sure FedWatch Tool has about 3 to 4 rate cuts priced in right now. And on top of that, we're probably going to get a full end to quantitative tightening here, probably within the next, I don't know, 3 months. I'd be pretty shocked if by the end of July QT is still happening. They're already reduced the runoff of treasuries down to $5 billion a month from 25 billion, and then before that it was at 50 billion. We also have mortgage-backed securities are still being sold on the Fed's balance sheet. That's going to continue. So again, QT has slowed significantly, but I think they're probably getting ready to end also. They're kind of inching us into the ending period. So we'll see how that goes also, but overall, right? Things are playing out exactly how we spoke about. If we go over to the logarithmic chart on Bitcoin, we could see that we've been tracking this daily bullish divergence that has been forming, and we're starting to see that also play out. And again, I don't want to just say it's all the charts, right? Because you guys know me by now. I'm not just a charts guy and says it's all in the charts. No, we over here on this channel, we track macro monetary policy, we track fundamentals, and then we combine that with the technical analysis. I'm the only crypto channel on all of X and all of YouTube who's really, really, really using monetary policy and macroeconomic data as a way of doing high-level technical analysis and seeing that correlation between the two, right? There's a couple others that are doing it too, but I don't think that the TA is at as high as a level as it is over here. We are giving you high level on both ends, high level fundamental analysis, and then correlating that with high level technical analysis. Now, something that I've been tracking also is we did have the macro 786 and macro structured support. We've been tracking that 75 to 70K level. We said that Bitcoin was likely going to hit that at some point. We did do that, and now we're seeing this bullish divergence play out, which is very nice. We like to see that. Let's just take a look. Yep, so as you can see here, we had the famous lower lows on the price action and the famous higher high on the RSI. Also, we have the double bottom on the daily stock RSI, setting us up for bullish momentum to the upside. We have whale money flow increasing very nicely to the upside. And then we also have the daily MACD making a higher low, and it looks like it's getting ready to cross bullish. If we look at the 3-day time frame, we're getting ready to obviously see, and I'll actually go back to this chart, the 3-day time frame. Look at that, right? Soon as we start to enter into our reversal zone, we're seeing the MACD and our MACD level of support too, right? We've held this level of support throughout the entire bull market, and we came all the way down and almost broke through it, but it looks like we're going to try and cross up to the upside here in this reversal zone that we've had marked off for the last 3 months. So this is also looking really, really nice. It lines up beautifully with the 114 to 174 day period where we do see reversals in correctional periods. I'm actually assuming that a couple of my buy signal indicators are going to pop off a buy signal here in the next 20 minutes on the 3-day time frame. So another chart that I want to look at too, this is going to be a really nice one, is total 3, right? So look at this chart at the moment. We've been tracking total 3 really, really closely. And again, I don't want to track it too closely because at the end of the day, it's all about what Bitcoin does. But this is a chart we want to look at, right? We do have this macro trend line that has been hit and then moves higher occur every time throughout this bull market. So you have your bear market, you hit the trend line, we move higher. You have your basically mini bear, well, not a major correctional phase that we had last year. You hit the trend line, bottom, we start to head higher. Now we've done the same exact thing. We hit the trend line, we deviated below it. It looked like altcoins were cooked. It looked like it was over with the other night. Look at this. This was dumping. I was like, oh my God, this is not looking too good. But look, we've deviated back into it, never closed the 3-day candle below it. And now we're getting that huge demand candle to the upside. What I want to see from total 3 here is I want to reclaim the golden pocket, right? See, this is why I was like, I don't want to get too hasty yet. Obviously, let's pat ourselves on the back because everything is playing out to the way that we've said it is, but there's more work to do, right? There's still more work to do. If total 3 gets back above this macro golden pocket, man, we're in business, because then really all we'll have to do is just break the $844 billion level. That will officially break the lower high structure, and we'll officially be back in a new uptrend. And I'll tell you, I mean, you could take this 3-day candle and add another one on top, and you're basically almost accomplishing that. So I think the momentum is definitely at the bulls back at this point, especially if we get a positive CPI report tomorrow and these tariff negotiations continue to go the way that we hope they're going to go. I mean, we could just take a look at some simple TA here. Also, I actually didn't even really notice this until now, but look at this, right? You have a 3-day bullish divergence forming on the RSI in the price action for total 3. So let's take a look at that. It's not a huge one, but it's there, right? So we have a higher low on the RSI, and we have, right, we could just kind of draw it like that for now. You get the point, right? We have the lower lows on price action. We have the higher lows on the 3-day RSI forming that bullish divergence at the moment, right? This is not totally confirmed yet. I would say that this is confirmed if we break the golden pocket at 782 billion. Mark that off on your charts. That is the macro golden pocket. I'll say it again. It's 783 billion. I'll correct myself there. But yeah, nonetheless, right, we do have this 3-day bullish divergence forming. We are at major support. We have deviated back above that major support, and now we're just contending with the golden pocket. So once we contend with the golden pocket, we'll have to come up and contend with 843 billion, and then from there, it's off to the races, folks. But again, total 3, looking from a structural standpoint, I mean, this chart is looking fine, right? Look at this, right? You have your bear market, you get your move up. You have your correctional phase, you get your move up. You have your other correctional phase, you get your move potentially up, right? So that's what we're going to be looking for. Everything is going to plan. We've always said, I know it sounds simple, and again, you don't have to complicate the crypto market, man. It's very simple. It runs off monetary policy. It runs off what the Fed is doing. It's very news driven. There's no earnings or anything like that, so naturally it has to correlate itself to something. That something is liquidity. That something is monetary policy. That something is fundamental factors in politics, right? That's what it goes off of. So again, we'll just keep an eye on that. So far, everything is looking really, really good here, right? We have a pending 3-day MACD cross, I'm assuming here probably. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, not quite yet, actually, right? So this is something we have to watch out for, right? We still have more work to do, right? This is going to close in a few minutes, and it's going to curl up to the upside. But again, look at the move we just put in today. You know, we were buying and I'll just shout out in the Patreon, we've been buying the lows, guys. I mean, we've been buying the lows. I've been, posting trades of just accumulating coins. We were buying Dogecoin at the lows. We're buying, we've been buying Dogecoin down at the 13 to 14 cent level. We've been buying Shiba Inu at the, I don't know what number you want to call that, but down at these levels. We've been buying, we were buying AVAX down at these levels. We've been buying Uniswap down at these at $4 and $5, right? We've been buying, what else? I can't think of anything at the top of, Ethereum Classic, right? We've been buying Ethereum Classic all down at these levels, right? Look at this. Why would I not buy Ethereum Classic down here? Look at this. Incredible demand candle at this major support level. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful chart. So the portfolio's loaded up. I think the trading portfolio right now is about 50% allocated into the market, which for me, from a crypto standpoint, is great. I still have plenty of cash on the sidelines if I need it, and I'm still heavily allocated. 50% allocations into this market, into the altcoin market specifically, makes me comfortable enough to where I can sleep at night knowing that I can allocate in if I need more, and I'm going to make really good money to the upside. So we've been buying the fear, right? We've been buying the fear at very specific levels, making sure that we're acting appropriately, and we're ready to rock, right? We're ready for the upside. We're actually, all the trades are already in the green. I think we're up 6 to 9% on every single one of those trades at the moment. So a couple of trades that are in the red still, but we'll get there. We'll get there. If the market reverses and starts this new run, we're going to be doing really well. So beyond that, don't really think there's much else to go over. Actually, we'll take a quick look at the S&P, because in the Patreon, I was actually buying the S&P. Look at this candle. Oh my God. So yeah, I mean, in the Patreon, I was literally bought the exact bottom on the S&P via the Vanguard ETF. So we're in that play also. And then literally this morning, I think it was this morning around like 4 in the morning, I was up early getting ready because today's my birthday, believe it or not. So I had to get a new ID. I had to go to the DMV. So I had to sit in line and deal with that. But I was up early nonetheless, and I was like, you know what? I bought the S&P at the lows. I'm going to buy the NASDAQ also. So I bought the NASDAQ literally at the low this morning, and I bought the Russell 2000 at the low this morning, right? So right when we were all the way down here. So each one of those plays is up 10 to 12%. So literally, if you were in the Patreon and you were following those plays, you would already be up what an annual benchmark return is on the S&P. The annual benchmark returns in the stock market is 10.12%. My S&P, my NASDAQ, and my Russell 2000 play are already up 12%, I think 10 to 12% each at the current moment. And I've only owned them for less than a week, and these two for just less than a day. So the funny part is I even got my wife in on both of those, all of those trades too. I woke up this morning when I purchased, like, you know what, let me let her know too. And she was also able to allocate into each one of those. So she's very happy. She made some really good money today, and we're going to just hold those. Those are going to be really long-term plays. I see no reason to not. I mean, it's the indexes, right? So this is something that I really want to hold. Anytime the market's down 25, 30%, I'm buying it. I mean, it's just, especially on no real hard data news. I mean, this whole correction was based off of a speculation of something that hadn't happened yet. I mean, it's not like inflation was coming in at 9% and the unemployment rate was coming in at 7%. Like, no, it's just all speculation and fear. And because it's politics related and not just monetary policy related, politics gets involved, meaning that, the people who don't like Trump and basically all of the media, they're going to inflate it and make it sound 20 times worse than what it actually was because they hate him and they want him to fail. So the market was going to drop even more because of that. And that's just the way it is, right? It sucks that we live in that type of world, but I was able to kind of just see through that the entire time. I mean, obviously, like, we've seen Trump in action before. We know how he is. It's the dude is a bull in a china shop. It sucks because it's not great for markets a lot of the time. He is an uncertain guy. You don't know what he's gonna do. Like, he is very unpredictable. So, but at the end of the day, it's like, come on, like, the guy, like, made the biggest comeback in political history. It was like destiny that he was going to win. You think he's just going to, his whole term is just going to be this big disaster, the end of the economy, the end? Give me a break. The first time he was in office, everything was great. That's why he got voted back in. So just because the first few months he's attacking this tariff issue head on to get, better trade deals, there's just no evidence that the world economy's over now. Like, give me a break. It's all a negotiation. It always was. It will continue to be, and there's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be bumps in the road, and the media is going to try and fear you out of your positions again. You guys need to just stay calm and deal with it and wait for the smoke to blow over. Usually when it comes to Trump, there's always something positive on the other end when it comes to these negotiations, and you kind of just have to deal with it, guys. Trust me, I don't like it either. You know what I mean? I wish Trump would just be quiet and we could just be, smooth, easy, business as usual. We're market people, right? We want business as usual. We want gridlock. We don't want nothing crazy. But at the end of the day, this is the way the man works. So we got to deal with that. But to be feared out of our long-term positions because of something speculatory, no actual hard evidence and data coming through, just pure speculation, insane. Insane, insane. I'll never do that. I said this on Twitter the other day. I posted the Google Trends. Google Trends for Black Monday were at 100. 100. That was when I made the decision that I was going to buy into the S&P, the NASDAQ, and even all, the altcoin plays continue allocating because it's like, it's the same thing when the market is at the top and it's euphoric. No one thinks it's ever going to go down ever again. Google Trends for bull market and altcoins and this and stocks, they're at 100, max euphoria, everyone's in the market. It's the same thing in the opposite direction, guys. When everyone thinks the world is ending, there's no real data to back it up, it's just pure speculatory political nonsense, you should be buying, right? You should be buying. And I know it's stomach churning, I know it hurts, and I know, even everyone's biases get in the way. Like, you got to just eliminate it. Look at the charts, understand what happens in history, and you go for it. I mean, let's just take a look. If you bought the COVID crash, look how well you would have done. If you bought in 2022 when the world was ending, you would have done really well. COVID, the world was ending, you would have done really well. Look at this tariff scare back in 2018, you would have done really well, right? I don't even know what this correction was. I can't even remember, but look what happened. You did really well if you bought that. The financial crisis, right? Oh my lord, this is terrible, right? 55, 60% drop. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was a senior in high school. I was a junior in high school, actually. But look, you would have did really well, right? When the S&P drops like that, 25, 30%, even more, you buy it. I mean, it is what it is. The thing is programmed to go higher. Like, people are forever funneling their 401ks. The labor force is always growing. Therefore, the S&P grows because more 401ks are being created. More, money is being parked into the markets every single day. So just one of those things where just a learning lesson for a lot of you. I know a lot of people are new. A lot of people are angry. Oh my God, they're scared. At the end of the day, you just zoom out and you say, listen, the S&P's down 25, 30%. I'm buying it. I'm going to buy some quality companies too. And then from a crypto perspective, it's like, oh my God, the S&P's down 25, 30% and Bitcoin is holding structure above 70K? Look at this chart. Look at this chart for a second. You have your previous all-time highs, right? Look at this. You have your this is the biggest support in history. This was the biggest resistance in crypto history. It is now the biggest support in crypto history. The S&P just dropped 25, 30%. Bitcoin didn't even come down really to test all of these levels. It held above that. It now has bullish divergence on the daily. It now has a 3-day momentum that is about to start curling to the upside. You have USDT dominance, which is breaking down from the macro golden pocket. And guess what I forgot to mention? The signal of all signals that has never failed once in history, the hash ribbons buy signal is flashing. And it flashed 2 weeks ago. Sometimes, and I've been posting this in Patreon because we've been tracking it, in history, if you track every single hash ribbons buy signal, it can take anywhere from 2 to 9 weeks for the price action to play out, right? 3 times in history, after the hash ribbons buy signal, in the first 2 to 5 weeks after, we've seen drops. So the buy signal occurred 2 weeks ago. We saw drop over the next, since then, which is 2 weeks. And now we're starting to potentially head higher. Now we need more data to confirm that. We need more to see how this macro unfolds. But overall, the hash ribbons buy signal has never failed in history to produce a minimum of a 40% move to the upside. The average move to the upside on a hash ribbons buy signal is 101% is the average move to the upside based off every buy signal in history. Now let me repeat, never once in history, even in bear markets when the hash ribbons buy signal occurred, did we not at least get a 40% move to the upside. And in the bear market, when the hash ribbons buy signal is flashed, it marked the bottom, right? It marked the bottom. So, again, do not fade the hash ribbons buy signal, folks. It's just ridiculous to do so. But when you line up the hash ribbons buy signal with my tracking of correctional phases in Bitcoin, I've tracked 11 or 12 major correctional phases in Bitcoin completely accurately. I've learned exactly over time the secrets of major correctional phases in Bitcoin and what needs to be done in order for it to reverse. So, as you can see, we're watching that play out right in front of our eyes. I've had these 2 green lines drawn since January. And I've said the entire time while people on X were saying, altcoin season in March, Bitcoin's going to turn around in February, Bitcoin's going to turn around in March, it's going to turn around in, every day people are saying it's going to turn around. I've said, nope, we're still in a major correctional phase. The 3-day MACD is bearish. Higher time frame indicators are resetting. It's very likely that we continue to go into our correctional phase. We've done that the entire time. Now you're seeing this all of a sudden, as soon as we hit this reversal zone, now the macro stuff is starting to shift in our favor. Watch, inflation will come in significantly lower tomorrow, probably around the 2.4 to 2.5 zone, which is my prediction. And you'll just continue to see how these indicators line up with major correctional phases ending. It's just the way it is. It's just how it works out every single time. I don't have an answer as to why that happens. That's a mystery. But what I do know is I know how to track it. And I've been tracking it for a long time. And I'm sure maybe one day it'll break and it won't work. But for now, it continues to work. So that's why I'm able to stay calm, because I just know how the crypto markets work. So at the end of the day, like I said, we have some reasons to really start feeling optimistic here. We really do. And I don't want to be a pessimist and say, oh, don't get optimistic. No, we can be optimistic here that we're in the process of finding a low here. If not, the low may already be in. However, if it's not, right, and if we start to deteriorate on the macro front, we still have these major levels, the 70 to 75K area, which we need to hold. So don't get super bearish if we go down to those levels. There's no reason to. As long as we hold those levels, everything is fine. We are getting closer and closer to resetting all of these indicators. And one more indicator that I want to look at is the 2-week stock RSI, which is something that I track very closely. This is getting super close to resetting also, right? Look at this. So when you pair the 3-day MACD with the 2-week stock RSI, that is like the best way to track correctional phases in crypto. And as you can see, this is also now getting very close to being fully reset. On total 3, it's also very close to being fully reset. So yeah, we're getting there, folks. We are getting there. If the macro front continues to improve, I think we're going to find a low here, and we're just going to start heading higher. And this whole tracking of this major correctional phase is going to be predicted perfectly. We would have predicted this whole thing perfectly when no one else did. Everyone else was scrambling, making 15, 20 posts a day, switching their bias every 24 hours. Meanwhile, we were calm, cool, collected. We accumulated quality plays, and we tracked this whole thing beautifully. But again, still got work to do. Don't get overzealous. Don't go high leverage 20 million X longing everything because of this video. Stay calm, stay cool, stay measured. Let's continue to track the charts. Let's continue to track the data. CPI tomorrow. And that's it, right? Let's just see what happens. But beyond that, I'm going to let you guys go. A little bit of a long video, but kind of ranted a little bit there. But again, we needed to go over all this stuff. So I will talk to you guys later. You guys have a good night. And again, if you're if you guys want to join I get a lot of people because I never bring this up in the videos. The Patreon link will be in the description below. Okay, we have over 1,140 members in the Patreon. Throughout this entire correctional phase, the Patreon has continued to grow. So what does that mean? People are treating my Patreon as a flight to safety, even in a major correctional period, rather than leaving. Right? We've grown every single month. We have a Discord with over 800 people in it. Some people don't go in the Discord, they just stay in the Patreon. But we have a Discord where we have over 800 people in it. We have all types of different channels in there. We have the scalping and day trading channel. We have the general chats. We have a Doge chat. We have a technical analysis chat. We actually have live indicators, right? We have a live buy and sell indicator that has just been launched in the Discord, right? So people are getting live buy and sell signals on their favorite altcoins and their favorite cryptos all day, every day. We also have a trading bot now in the Patreon, in the Discord. So you can actually set up your, and we'll go over this too, but you can set up your BitUnex trading account with my referral code below. That'll also be in the description. So if you're a trader and you're from the US or anywhere in the world, you can use BitUnex with my referral code below. No KYC, no VPN required. But the trading bot that we have is also able to be hooked up in the API through BitUnex, right? So not only do you get lower fees from trading on my referral, but you get the, you can obviously use the trading bot that we now have launched in there too. So all of that, you get the Patreon, you get the Discord, there's the trading bot, there's the buy and sell signals and the indicators. The base membership for the Patreon is $5 a month, and that includes the Discord. So think, it's just $5 a month. It's a cup of coffee a month. It's incredible. And then you get access to literally every single thing that's in my mind is getting posted in there. Every piece of information. We have live training videos that I post, trading videos that I post. I do live trading in the scalpers and day trader chat. We have other traders in there, elite level traders that are posting trades in there all day, all night, no matter what the time zone is. So definitely get in there, guys, if you're interested. I think for the money that it is, it's insanely worth it. It's all about the community, man. So you won't find a Patreon or a Discord that offers more for that price in any market. So definitely, all the links will be in the descriptions below. Beyond that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. You have a good one. Peace.